Hello everyone. Good morning, good evening. Thanks for joining from all parts. So I'm not sure where you guys are joining from. Can anyone give me a vocal confirmation whether my screen is visible to all of you?
Yes, yes, it's visible.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
it's
great.
visible.
And my
It's
audio is
visible.
also pretty clear, right? You can hear me clear enough, right?
Yes.
Okay,
It's
I can
clear.
see some thumbs up. Okay, that's great. So, a couple of agenda for today. So, let me first introduce myself. So, my name is Cyril. I will be your instructor for the day, and we are planning for the session based on the topic of Playwright, and the language that we'll be following will be TypeScript as language. Okay. Additionally, in this course, we'll be walking you through the usage of Copilot and the Playwright MCP server. Okay, we would come to that at a later point of time when it starts to make sense. Okay, so today's demo session is basically to understand whom this course is for and what benefits you will have by joining this course, and also walking you through the entire structure of this course, like how we have designed it, right? And also if you have any queries in between, like is this suitable for me, what approach should I take, all those kind of questions we'll be answering
Mm,
throughout this session.
mm.
Okay, so if you do not have anything to add to the session, I would suggest you guys to go on mute, right? And you can raise your hand in between, right? We will go one round and we will try to cover each topic, and we can get those questions answered at the end of the demo session as well. Okay. And if time permits, I will also show you how easy is it to actually get started with Playwright with the TypeScript as language framework. Okay. So expectation and goals from this course is very clear. Like whoever is joining this course, all the students joining will be able to create a framework with Playwright and have enough understanding of UI as well as API automation with pipelines. Okay, so I'm planning to cover GitLab as well as GitHub Actions as CI/CD pipeline as part of this course. Okay, Jenkins I haven't added because hosting a Jenkins server personally in a machine takes a lot of consumes a lot of memory, but the conceptual knowledge remains the same. Okay, so we'll be taking example of GitLab and GitHub Actions on GitHub. Okay, and there is one more agenda of this course. We have introduced students with using prompt engineering plus vibe coding. So you might have heard of Copilot basically, right? So we can integrate Copilot with our ID. It can be VS Code or any other ID, and we can use Playwright MCP in a agentic mode to actually generate test cases and run those test cases for us. Okay, we will see that in action in couple of sessions later. Okay, so who should enroll this course? Basically, this course is intended for individuals willing to pursue career in software testing. Basically, I have we have designed this course for anyone who wants to just get started with automation. So, example, you are a manual tester, you wanna switch yourself to automation testing. This course is for you. You are someone who is basically into some other area completely and want to step into automation testing. This course is for you because when we talk about the entire syllabus, we'll come to know that we have designed this so that we can take baby steps of first learning a particular language, and then we'll be stepping into learning Playwright automation. Okay, so basically, I would say there are no prerequisites for joining this course. Only the right intention to learn is required, uh, and this is designed for absolute beginners, so that we have already covered. Okay, I'll also demonstrate one more thing before we jump into Playwright with TypeScript to understand why Playwright is so much trending, right? So if I just go to google.com and there is a website called NPM Trends, I'm sure you guys might have some familiarity with this website. So NPM is basically Node Package Manager. If this is a website publicly available, you guys can also check it out at from your end. So you can compare package download counts over time. Okay, so that is this website. So I will just search for Selenium first. Okay, and Selenium WebDriver. And the second comparison, you see the number of downloads for Selenium WebDriver. Second comparison will be with Cypress, for example. Okay, so the orange line denotes the number of downloads for Cypress module in NPM. And lastly, we'll be checking out Playwright. Okay, so the Playwright is the green color that you see, right? So Playwright is the green line that you see. Cypress is the orange line, and WebDriver is the blue line. This basically suggests what are the number of downloads that have happened with the npm package manager for different libraries, right? So significantly you will find that, let me take the data for say past 5 years to give you an overall view. Okay, so more or less you will find that Selenium, the number of downloads have been very much pretty much constant. Okay, but do you see this green color line seeing spike right after the onset of 2025, right? So I would say like after the end of 2024 there was a peak rise for Playwright downloads. Okay, so this data itself suggests that the number of people who wants to migrate their scripts from Selenium or any other tool to Playwright has been increased, and anyone who are new to automation are preferring to learn and implement Playwright in particular. Okay, just a data comparison, nothing wrong with Selenium or any other tool. I'm just trying to showcase you how the trend is going on, right? And why Playwright is so becoming much relevant and a need of time to learn if you are an automation engineer. Okay.
Is there a reason for this trend?
Yeah, so basically Playwright, the way Selenium was developed was taking into consideration automation, okay, but not test automation in general. But Playwright has been created focusing on how test engineers are going to create uh, this, okay, for automation for API and UI. And Playwright is a package which has both API and UI in the same place. So you don't have to run at different libraries
Got
to accommodate this change. Okay. Playwright basically is now owned by Microsoft, but I will just give you an history. Like there was a company called Puppeteer. I'm not sure if you guys
it.
have heard. So Microsoft has acquired Puppeteer, and Puppeteer was very much popular in Node.js library. So they have enhanced that and created Playwright. Okay, and Playwright basically gels well with any of the Microsoft environment. So the language is TypeScript or JavaScript, Node.js, right? And IDE will be using is the VS Code, again a Microsoft provider, correct? So everything just works very well. Okay.
So,
Hmm.
one thing is like this is not an open source tool, right?
This is an open source tool. Playwright is
Oh,
open.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yes. We'll come to that, Madhu, right? We will be discussing all those topics. You know
Got
what
it.
all is getting covered in this topic. So that's why I have a dedicated time dedicated to discuss you the module like a syllabus, what we are trying to cover with this learning of 37 to 40 hours of lecture, right? And the way it is designed, like we will be not jumping into Playwright directly, okay, because that will be overwhelming for some of the folks, right? So the first 6 to 7 hours or 10 hours of focus will be on learning a language, okay. So the module one that will be starting up will be with TypeScript fundamental. We'll be walking you through uh, what is TypeScript, and basically even before we start learning TypeScript, we'll be giving you some level of knowledge on JavaScript as well. Okay, but do not need to hesitate because when we talk about TypeScript, people think, oh, should I learn JavaScript as well and then TypeScript? Okay, so the answer is very much pretty clear. If you are learning TypeScript, by default, you are learning JavaScript. Okay, so to remove that confusion once set for all, you cannot learn TypeScript without learning JavaScript. Okay, but we will not be covering all of the JavaScript required for you. We'll be only touch basing those topics, those concepts which are essential for an automation engineer. Okay, because if you take an example of a language itself, it will take hours and hours of lectures to even touch base all the concepts in that language. Okay, but that is really not necessary, and that's why people get distracted. So the course is designed to teach you only stuff which are required as an automation engineer. So you will find that we'll be introducing you to TypeScript. We'll be talking about variable types and operator, then functions and scope, then objects and interfaces, classes and inheritance, module and compilation, and then integration with Node.js, right? And how to compile TypeScript. Okay. And in between, we'll be also showcasing you to how to get started with JavaScript first, right? And then the same thing can be converted to TypeScript as a language. Okay. So if you guys have doubts like whether should I learn JavaScript or TypeScript, just wanted to tell you that you can learn any of the languages. Both are almost same. It's like learning any language, say English as a language, right? So English can be considered as JavaScript. Once you put grammar to that language, that becomes TypeScript. Okay, it's that much interrelated. So it's not a different language, it is JavaScript itself, but on top of that, we have some type syntaxes to be followed with TypeScript. Okay. And Playwright with TypeScript will make much sense once I show you a demo. Like Playwright is not an automation tool. Okay. Playwright is more like an automation framework. So there are so many inbuilt features that you can readily start using once you have Playwright configured with TypeScript. Okay. So once we have covered module one, the fundamentals of any languages, we will be moving on to introducing you to the Playwright, right? So we will get started with Playwright, how to run your first test script with Playwright. Generic features like how we can debug and create traces using Playwright will be covered in this module. So this module will be taking up of your 4 hours of session. That means four different classes, right? So as we'll be going much deeper into Playwright, it is very much necessary that we focus on uh, the fundamentals first, take baby steps, and then explore in it, right? So Playwright by default also supports cross-browser testing. Parallelism is by default available by Playwright. Okay, so you don't have to add some any other libraries for the same. Coming on to module 3, we'll be having more in-depth knowledge on Playwright concepts.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
have a question. So where are we going to learn this TypeScript if we are installing the Playwright in the module 2?
Yeah, so TypeScript will be learning in the module 1 itself. So we'll find that module 1 itself, the first 6 to 7 lectures that we'll be planning our session will be learning TypeScript. Okay.
So where are you going to practice that if we are installing the Playwright in the next session?
We can start in VS Code itself. No worries.
Oh, okay.
So once I
Okay,
practically show you, you would understand that how interrelated these things really are.
got it, got it. Okay.
Okay. Uh, so coming on to module 3, we'll be discussing in depth. Yeah, Pratik, you have a question? Or you have,
Yes.
yeah, yeah,
Hey,
please
hi.
go ahead. Yeah.
Is it the only confusion it is it really possible to learn TypeScript in 6 to 7 hours for Playwright?
Yes. The one that
Okay,
is actually required to learn automation.
okay. And after that, I
Mm.
can do any type of automation testing using Playwright.
Yes, yes, more or less you can. So
Okay,
that's why
understood.
we have designed the way in the way like you do not have much dependency on language, but you still
Okay.
need to understand the fundamental of language, right? So that's why you
Mm-hmm.
need the first 7 lectures
Okay.
specifically learning that language. Okay. And my style of teaching is a bit different. Like I would be asking you guys to do some kind of assignments out of the class, which will be totally related to whatever topic we learn. Like, for
Mm-hmm.
example, if you start learning functions and scope, I will be providing you with some assignments on functions and scope, right? But nothing out of the topic. Like it will be more or less whatever we have uh, introduced in the class itself. Okay, but that is
Understood.
like a practice you guys have to do because I believe that if I take 90% of effort, the last 10% of effort, until and unless you guys do not put, there is no outcome. Okay, so that is very much important because that's why we have it as a hands-on class. Hiran, you
Understood.
have a question?
Yeah, I'm sorry I joined late. I
Mm.
don't know whether you've already covered it. I just wanted to ask one thing. I don't have any experience in coding or
Okay.
like
Yeah, yeah,
anything like, so I'm not
yeah,
sure
yeah.
whether you covered. So since I
Yeah,
missed
I
it, I
have.
just
Yeah, no
question.
worries there. I will come back to that. So basically, we started off the lecture saying that the prerequisite for this course is only that you have willingness to learn, no coding background required, and course is designed for absolute beginners. So that's how we have designed the entire syllabus. So we'll starting
Okay.
with teaching you the language first, slowly introducing you to Playwright, and after introducing you to Playwright, we'll be going into some core level concepts of Playwright, like basically how do we locate locators, right? Different types of locators, and also best practices or strategies to follow. And
Okay.
this course will also give you an interaction at element level, right? So for example, you have click, fill, check, hover, drag and drop, mouse action, keyboard actions, all those element level of actions that you perform as an user, that will be covered. Your meeting will end in
Okay.
10 minutes. Okay, let's see. Hopefully I do not get disconnected. Let's see. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And then followed by assertions, waits and timeout. When we discuss about these waits and timeouts, right? People who are from Selenium background will truly start appreciating Playwright. Okay. The reason I say this is like yeah, I will come to this question, Madhu. Yeah. So the reason I say this is like I myself am coming from Java Selenium background. Okay. So I worked previously in Java Selenium projects. And right now, as per the demands of the industry, I've completely migrated myself or transformed myself to Playwright with TypeScript. Right. And you will understand the reason why when we talk about each of this topic. Sir, hope it is sufficient for interview. TypeScript questions not like a Java in-depth questions asking in interviews. It again depends on the interviewer and the type of position you are applying for, right? The module one TypeScript that I'm covering is basically essential for you to get started with Playwright. Okay, that doesn't mean that you can end there. Okay, learning a language has no end. Okay, it's a huge topic. So uh, because the motivation of the students get lost if we only teach you language, right? So that's why we have kept it as minimum as possible so that you can get started, and in between we can take some topics which if they are relevant to. Okay, so that's why we have covered it in that way.
Okay. I have one last question. Do we need to have Selenium knowledge to do this? I mean,
No, no,
will
no,
that
no,
be no
no, no.
need, right?
If
Okay.
you have, it is like, you will be able to relate some things and you will be able to appreciate Playwright. Okay, in
Okay.
some areas where Selenium's lack, Playwright outperforms, that you will be able to appreciate. But if you do not have Selenium knowledge also, it is well and good, doesn't matter. Okay, so now coming on to the some advanced topic, like we will be covering some core concepts, and then we'll be moving on to some advanced topic in Playwright, like handling web elements like drop downs, checkboxes, radio buttons, all with example. Okay, one more thing I wanted to make sure that you guys follow along is like this session is planned for students who wants to do hands-on while the lecture is in progress, right? So I will be writing each and every code, setup, everything, and explaining you why I'm writing in such a way so that you can parallelly code along the instructor. Okay, so that's what the difference is between the other courses that you learn online and this course. Like, I would expect you guys to be more hands-on when it comes to learning, right? Yeah, you have a question, Lakshmi Nath.
Yes. So
Yeah,
actually, I have more of a generic question.
yeah,
So
yeah, sure.
currently in the market, there is also uh,
Mm.
Playwright with Python, right? So
Mm-hmm.
like,
Yeah, yeah. I will tell you the
so
difference. Yeah, 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 go
yeah,
ahead.
which one is more, have more weightage is my question.
See,
Which one to choose?
this question is a bit tricky question. When my colleague says like, I have seen job demands for Playwright plus Python, I would just tell you what I know. Okay. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Playwright plus TypeScript. Okay. So both of these are huge in demand. Both of these are popular. Who should learn what? Now that is the question. Okay. We have Playwright with Java, Playwright with all other languages as well, right? So who should learn what is the bigger question here. So if you are in some kind of projects where you are required to have some exposure to AI or ML, okay? AI or ML. So you guys are aware that we can even do uh, LLM testing.
Right.
I hope you guys are having some. So there are industries where data mining and data engineering is going on, and they expect that the LLM models that they create that needs to be tested out. Okay, so that is LLM testing. Okay, so for those kind of projects, you can go with Playwright with Python as a language. Okay, but for all the other use cases where you have application or UI based or API based testing to be done, right? Or even database level of testing to be done, people are preferring Playwright with TypeScript. Okay, that's the difference. Okay, so if you are an expert in Python and you wanna go with Playwright, well and good, you can go with that option. But again, the restriction would be like you are someone who wants to focus on AI or ML area where you are doing some kind of LLM testing or data mining or some kind of that kind of testing you want to do, you can go with Playwright with Python. For most of the generic use case, I would still say Playwright with TypeScript outsmarts all other languages. Okay. I hope that
That makes sense.
makes sense, right? Yeah. Okay, so we were talking about advanced playwright features. So we'll be covering each kind of UI elements that we see, and we'll be also checking on frames and iframes, right? This is where the API automation comes into picture, guys. So when I talk about playwright automation, right? Playwright automation by default supports API testing as well. Okay, I don't think no other tool does that. I think with Selenium also you need to be dependent on Rust Assured or some other libraries to get started with API testing. But Playwright supports API automation by default. We can also see that we can intercept a network. We can mock a network. Okay. If these concepts are new to you, do not worry. We'll be talking about those once we have completed all other topics, right? And then only we'll be slowly introducing you to what is network mocking, what is API automation, right? How do we log network traffic using Playwright, right? And also following the authentication handling both using API as well as the UI automation. So the login scenarios, we can store the cookie storages using Playwright. Okay. And at the end of the session, I will just show you how quickly we can get started with Playwright. Okay. It will hardly take us 10 minutes. Okay. And then we'll be talking about file handling, that is downloading and uploading any files that you see it on a web page, correct? And then followed by Playwright test runner, like how we can configure Playwright with runner with different configuration settings. So all these topics may be very much foreign to you, but do not worry. I am just uh, walking you through what is the syllabus that will be covered as part of this course. Okay, and each course would only make sense if you go in this order. Okay, so like if you are someone who has a good level of understanding of module 1 and you're directly jumping into module 4, then things would start to collapse. Okay, so that's why whenever as a student if you're learning something, please learn in a very specific order, and that's why you have to follow this particular syllabus, right? The main intention is like the confidence that you guys already have with respect to automation and testing. That confidence needs to come up at a different level, like level 2 if you're on level 1. Okay, and that would only happen if you follow this lecture along with each module in the same order. Okay, so this is a new topic. We'll come to that, like the AI topic. Okay, and that AI topic we have purposefully added at the end of the session. The reason being that if I introduce you to GitHub Copilot, Playwright MCP, right, way earlier in the session, you guys will find it a bit overwhelming and it would not make much sense. Okay, so AI is something that is not going to replace human being. Okay, AI will be more like an assistance to a human being or a coder who wants to write test scripts. Okay, so imagine that you are a coder and you want to it takes 10 hours to complete one test script. Okay, just a vague example. The AI just enables you to complete the same set of tasks in 9 or 8 hours. Okay, now amplify it into 365 days and now imagine the power of AI. Okay, the example I'm giving is still vague. It in some cases it can be 100% efficiency. That means something that you require to complete in 2 hours, you can basically do it in 1 hour or less. Okay, so that's the reason we are introducing AI as well as part of this course. That is Copilot and the MCP server, but that will be done once you have enough understanding of all the 6 modules or 5 modules. Okay, is my screen visible, guys?
Yes.
Okay, do you also show how to connect DB and verify DB? We will check whether this is really required at the end of the session. As per the current model, we haven't had database testing to be connected. But again, if that is really required, we can check it out with MongoDB or some sample DB example. Okay, the main
Yes.
challenge with DB is like I need to configure the database server somewhere in my own machine, right? And that becomes space consuming challenge. Okay, that's why Jenkins is also not added in the syllabus, but we have GitHub Actions and GitLab. Okay, so CI/CD is covered, but Jenkins is not covered. Okay, so now
Yeah.
coming, yeah,
Okay. But when I was doing automation with
mm,
Selenium with Java, I was
yeah, they would be.
struggling connecting that. That's why I want
Mm.
specifically wants to learn that part as well.
Okay, I will just showcase you when I show you how to integrate with Azure pipelines or GitLab, right? GitLab is very much
Okay.
similar to any other pipeline. You will get that
Okay.
understanding what a pipeline is and how do we set up. It's more or less the same thing. That's why I'm not much focusing uh, that that you should learn Jenkins or something like that. Okay.
Yeah, and one more thing,
Mm,
suppose we are doing a API testing
mm,
and every time we need to give the all the schema information and everything.
mm.
Is there any option that I'll create a Excel file and save in the
Yeah,
Playwright
yeah.
folder and then we
Yes, yes.
can access that folder?
Yeah, that
Okay,
concept will come to that later. Like schema, basically, you can even store it in a JSON file. So as we
yeah,
are working in Node.js itself, JSON file is something which will be by default nature it will start supporting. Okay, and there are some libraries to support JSON schema validation. We will introduce you to those libraries as well. Okay, so like
A-
Checkly or something like that is there.
and inputs for this schema means all the uh, variable information and everything means
Yeah,
like
that.
in
Mm,
schema that we can also save, right?
yes, 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 all that can be done.
All that
Will.
can be
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
So yeah, so there will be a hands-on practice on this
yeah, yeah.
concept as well.
Correct, correct. So we'll
Okay.
start with UI automation so that
Yeah.
you get familiarized and it's easier for you to understand. And
Yes.
then
Okay.
even before when we talk about API automation, I will, as a bonus lecture, will also introduce you to Postman as
Yeah.
a tool so that you understand what API basically is, right? Because I cannot
Okay.
show you API sometimes. It's hard
No,
to
I
show. Yeah,
understand.
yeah.
I understand.
So
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah. But we have a
conceptually,
free API also.
yeah, yeah, I can show you that. So that is there in
Yes.
part of our design. I mean, the module syllabus itself.
Okay.
Come to that. So advanced playwright feature, I think we have already covered. So once you have done with the advanced playwright feature, we'll be introduce you to a very popular design pattern. You guys might have someone who is already has done some kind of automation would have already familiarization with page object model, right? So we'll
Yes.
be introducing page object model POM as a design pattern, introducing in our automation framework and utilizing POM to build our automation setup. Okay. So by the end of the lecture, all of the candidates who are joining will have an automation framework built in their own system right from scratch. Right. So that's how we'll be building step by step, creating each layer by layer, and finally migrating all our test scripts into a POM model. We'll see that in action. Okay. And then when it comes to framework design and best practices, we'll be following POM. We already discussed that. We'll be introducing reporting and debugging to you. So by default, Playwright has its own Playwright reporting, but along with that, I will also show you how you can customize reports using Allure reports or some other kinds of reports. Okay, so we can even introduce you to that. And again, coming to CI/CD part, I'll be introducing you to GitHub Actions, right? And followed by GitLab pipeline. In GitLab, I can literally show you how you can create pipelines, right? Like build, test, deploy, right? Like a build pipeline itself. Okay, that feature is available in GitLab, okay, not in GitHub Actions. So that's why I have introduced GitLab as a separate pipelines, and I can even show you how you can schedule jobs. Okay, the way you schedule jobs, create jobs in GitLab is exactly more or less the same the way you do it in Jenkins. Okay, so that's why once you cover GitLab, you would have no issues when it comes to Jenkins as well. Okay, just the UI usability might change, but the understanding would be the same. Okay, and I'll be also showcasing you how you can run different uh, Playwright scripts in pipeline, right? And when it comes to best practices and patterns, I'll be showcasing you how you can handle test data handling and what retry mechanism or strategies Playwright is having power, and what strategies we'll be introducing you to. Okay. Along with that, there will be an additional lecture on environment management. So basically, people who are already working in testing as a domain knows that you would be introduced to different environments, right? Like NPD, non-prod, prod, stage, pre-stage, something like that, right? And how we can manage each of those environment, that will be also be discussed and showcased. We'll be like showing you practically. Like within our framework itself, we'll be having variables that would define which environment we need to run the same scripts for, right? And this module 7 is basically only 2 hours because this is a bonus lecture. We'll be introducing you to GitHub Copilot in VS Code. Okay, so I'll be using the free version of Copilot. Okay, if you guys are already working, you can even check in your own company. They would also provide you a premium package of Copilot where you can use much advanced level of LLM models. Okay, but for the demo, I can only show you the free version of Copilot version that is available with me. And with that version also, we can do wonders. Okay, that is also a very powerful tool. And have you guys heard about this MCP, Model Context Protocol?
Yes.
A lot of buzz has been going on with Playwright MCP. Just to give you a concept, like Playwright first came up with MCP, and then Selenium also started with their MCP journey, creating their MCP agents. Okay, so you will find how Playwright MCP is really a game changer, and I will show you in action. And the first time when I was utilizing Playwright MCP, it made me wonder the possibilities of Playwright MCP with GitHub Copilot. It's a really a new world. So I would introduce you to Playwright MCP as well. So basically, this would enhance you to have a step up from your colleagues, right? Because everyone is an automation engineer, and once you say that you are an AI enhanced automation engineer, that's really stands out, right? So that's why this has become a need of our, okay? So do not consider this as something like, you have learned it extra and it really doesn't matter. This is something it will now become a mandatory requirement now. Like once you start searching for jobs, like after 6 months or 1 year, people would write in their requirement like they need someone who can use AI tools when creating automation test scripts, okay? So this will become a requirement. So better to learn it much before when it becomes a hardcore requirement, right? So that's why we have introduced this module as well. Okay, so this is module 6. Okay, I will be editing this to module 6, right? So your module
I'm
7.
sorry, I joined a little bit late. So what is the
Okay,
advantages of the MCP?
MCP is something that people are not using much often, but I will show you what MCP can do.
Okay.
Okay, the
Any
possibilities of
any specific advantages of it?
it's a tool that can run on like an agent. Like for example, once you create a test script, you might have it doesn't do any action, correct? Have you used ChatGPT or any kind of
Yes, yes.
chatbot, right?
Yes.
So chatbot basically once you ask any question, it gives
Hmm.
you the answer, right? As a
Yes.
text. MCP is an agent. Okay, it works on your behalf. Like if I give an instruction to Playwright MCP, basically that I need to order such a such device from such a such website at the lowest possible cost, it will go to that website. Like it will open a browser on your behalf. It will even log in. It will add that product to a cart and do all that action like a real agent would do. Okay, so that's the change here. There are limitations of using it in the your work environment because of uh, privacy related issues and data getting compromised issues. But I will still introduce you to Playwright MCP so that you can be enabled yourself of understanding what all possibilities it can really have in your work
Mhm.
setting. Okay.
So
So
my
this
question, how the guardrails, security guardrails can be enabled because it's a
Mm.
strong feature, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. So
in
that's
case,
why,
like if
yeah, yeah.
you, yeah,
Mm. So that's why most of the people are not even introducing MCP. Like even you would have a general messages coming up from an organization to not use Playwright MCP. Okay, so that's why people wants to make this as a secure platform, just like they have made Copilot secure within your VS Code, right? I think Copilot is uh, much of the people are still using Copilot, right? Even in industry, you guys might be using it, I'm not sure. So likewise they would like to create a firewall around it, and then once that is 100% uh, theft proof, I would say, right? Then like people will get more comfortable with Playwright MCP. So that's why it's in still in very initial stages, and the results are not very consistent. Okay, that even though this is an AI model, the results are not very consistent. Okay, each time if you run it with Playwright MCP. Okay.
okay, thanks. Yeah, for Copilot, actually, enterprise
Yeah,
security is
security
enabled,
is
and
there.
it can correct,
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 correct.
and it can be used as any MS service, and the data won't be used for training or anything. So
Yeah.
MCP that is yet to be implemented, right?
Yes, yes. So that is still under discussion, and it's more or less how confident you are. Even when Copilot was introduced, people were very skeptical. It took a lot of effort and implementation to really showcase that, it can still be used in your work setting. Okay. So Copilot was there some time back. People were using it for their own personal projects, but it's been recent time itself that people have become much more comfortable with utilizing Copilot, right? And even in Copilot, you have restrictions. Okay, like you would get a set of instruction from your organization itself, like how to use Copilot. Okay, if you guys have not gone through that session in your organization, I would urge you to go through that session because it's a very important session. You will come to know that if you are not following some practices, you can still be at a position where you are compromising your data. Okay, so make sure you guys go through that session in your organization. Okay, so last but not the least, we would have a module 7 that will be your capstone project and review, right? So we will be building a small test framework using the POM model. We'll be automating 2 to 5 test scenarios, like an actual application scenario from login to search to form button, and finally to cart page, like a complete end-to-end scenario for UI as well as API. So that will be part of your mini framework development. So this will be part practical and part assignment that I will be encouraging you guys to complete it. Okay, because module till 6, if you have completed module to 6, you are by default enabling yourself to complete module 7. Okay, because module 7 is the uh, combination or uh, everything. Like if you are completed module 1 to 6, by default you have done module 7. Okay, so that's why this module is still important. So this will be part application, like practical. I will be showcasing you how to do it, and I will expect you guys to even do it at some point, okay, at your level, right? Last 2 lectures, I dedicated, like I want to dedicate it to having the complete revision and having a last mock interview, so that you have some level of confidence if you want to go to or if you want to apply for new jobs as a automation engineer. Okay, so for that, we'll be having last 2 lectures where I'll be even sharing you some sample interview questions, but it will be more like a live mock interview. I will be your interviewer for the day, and you guys can volunteer whoever is joining the class, right? And we will be having a live interview session the way you would have it in your for your job interviews. Okay, I can see on chat. If possible, make plus 2 more classes for AI integration, please. Yeah, let's see that, Madhusudan. Like, how the class is able to digest, I would entertain that module. As a fresher, this course makes outstanding that others people. I didn't get that. You can convey that message to me. I'm not sure what you're trying to say. So that's the agenda, like the syllabus I've shared with you. I think on the website also, if you go to ishatrainingsolutions.com. I mean, you will find against this course, you have the entire module syllabus mentioned. Okay. So what are your learning objectives? Like once you have completed the 40 hours of learning or 37, 40 hours of learning, what is expected from you? Okay. So there is a particular level of expectation that you would have from your instructor, and the instructor, me being your instructor, I have some level of expectation from you guys. Okay, so what would be my expectation from students, right? So students should be able to understand the fundamentals of TypeScript. So including all the core concept which are introduced in the class, right? So the same topics I've mentioned here. Okay, so apart from this also, if you want to go ahead and explore, you can still do it. But basically, I would ask you guys to have some level of knowledge once you have completed the course, along with Playwright fundamentals, like what are interfaces, function, classes, right? And you're confident enough to set up and configure a Playwright environment, and you are someone who can install, configure Playwright with TypeScript, and you can write end-to-end test case automation test. You can write end-to-end automation test basically. Third thing will be like you are someone who can write effective UI automation scripts using Playwright's powerful locator strategies and APIs to interact with web elements and automate complex user interaction. Okay, working with web elements when it comes to frames, events, okay, real world web automation and those challenges, right? How do you handle drop downs, alerts, pop-ups, all those things? You are someone who can handle all those real time. Okay, not only you have conceptual knowledge but hands-on knowledge. Okay, so all this you'll be taking as examples when we start writing code. And then we have API testing, specifically like perform API testing and mocking with Playwright intercept network calls, validate API request responses, and you can even simulate backend behavior using mock. So this is the concept of network mocking. Okay. So once you do that, you should be able to perform this kind of activities. And you are someone who can implement test automation best practices. Like you can apply best practices like POM model, modular design, right? And robust assertion for maintaining test suites. Anyone has any questions? As a okay. How much experience do you have in Playwright? I am a manual tester, so I thought Python will be easy, but most of the openings offer TypeScript. You're absolutely right, Vihari. So most of the people looking for Playwright are looking for Playwright with TypeScript or JavaScript. Reason being that Playwright gels well with the Node.js framework, right? I have around 3 years of hands-on experience in Playwright, but prior to that, I was working in Java Selenium, so I have more than 10 years of experience in automation together. Okay, manual tester, I would still suggest like you do not have to go with Python. Python will be easy. See, Python can be easy, but still JavaScript is much easier, I would say. Okay, we'll see that in action. You will realize like learning Python and learning JavaScript. When it comes to Playwright, learning TypeScript will make more sense to you. Okay, so perform API testing we have already covered, implementing test automation best practices, generating reports and debug test, right? Uh, so you'll be able to generate reports, capture screenshot, videos. All this is inbuiltly supported by Playwright. Okay, you will find it very easy to capture screenshot, record your test videos, like a animation, right? What user was actually doing. All those can be done. And lastly, we will have integrating test into CI/CD pipeline that we already discussed, that is GitHub Actions or GitLab. Okay. Then finally, building a mini framework, like develop a lightweight test automation framework combining UI and API testing, showcasing the full capabilities of Playwright with TypeScript. Right. Lastly, once you're at this stage, right? Once we are at this stage where we are able to create a mini framework development and we are ready for a mock interview, the last point will also be covered. That is prepare for automation roles and interviews, right? And get exposure to real world testing scenarios, prepare for interviews and code based exercises and mock Q&A sessions. Okay, so that is the last two lecture. And this I have added at the end because still people do not ask for this as a mandatory requirement, but to make you stand out from the crowd, it will be better if you have uh, some hands-on vibe coding and using AI tools like Copilot and Playwright MCP. Okay. Yes, Hiran, I can take your question now.
Yeah, I just missed it. I just want to check. Are we going to cover even CI/CD as well?
Yeah, we are going to cover. It is part of
What
our syllabus.
like what they are and how that will be
Yes,
workable?
everything
Oh,
from scratch. Like we would have by module 5, we will have a bunch of test cases ready with us, and then we can uh, step into CI/CD. Okay.
okay.
Only,
And then
only.
the Gen AI
Mhm,
tools, you
mhm,
said
mhm.
only Copilot, right? And LLM based.
Yeah,
So
Copilot and MCP, Playwright MCP server.
Playwright MCP. Okay,
Mm,
okay, got it. Yeah, thank
mm.
you.
Okay, any
I
questions?
had
You
a
guys,
question.
yeah, yeah.
So, is there a recording concept using an agent or something, or is it like writing from scratch the code?
It will be using AI, I mean, using the chatbot plus
Mm-hmm.
the playwright, like a record and playback.
Oh, so
Having,
you have record
mm,
and playback for the playwright.
yeah, right. We have.
Okay. And also, like, Selenium can convert
Mm,
Python into JavaScript or JavaScript into
mm,
Python, right? Do we
mm.
have that kind of option in converting the languages here?
Converting what to what? Like you have already Playwright with some other language.
Yeah, and can
Yeah,
I
so that
convert
will
that
be
into a
basically
paper?
part of your migration activity. So basically, if you have Playwright with Python and you need to migrate it to Playwright with JavaScript, you should be someone who has some level of understanding on both the languages. Okay, and that is applicable for Selenium as well. Okay, that is not an exception for Selenium.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so someone asked me like, I have 10 years of experience in manual testing. How much helpful for me to learn Playwright? So even when you're in manual testing, you need to have a transition to automation testing, right? Because that is the need of our. So that's where Playwright comes into picture. Because with Playwright, you can have both the power of API as well as UI as well as API automation. Okay. To answer this question, are we going to cover any other framework like Cucumber BDD? No. Clearly, no. The reason being, Playwright with TypeScript works so well, and if you add one more level of Cucumber above it, it diminishes the power of Playwright. Okay, so once you start learning Playwright, you will really come to know that you do not need Cucumber BDD. Cucumber BDD becomes a one more layer of overburden when it comes to creating test automation framework. Okay, but there is a different approach using test.step where we can have the very similar approach like Cucumber BDD. Okay, so that's why BDD is not there here, right? So it's like forcing Playwright to cover with one more layer of dependency, that is Cucumber. Okay, so that's why Playwright says no, no, don't do that. We can still do it, but I won't suggest it, and that is not there in our syllabus as well. Are we going to?
Yeah.
Okay, that
Yeah, so one
mobile
question. So if the
automation.
business teams no are involved
Hmm.
means like that scripts will be difficult to understand for them, right? BDD helps them to
Yeah, yeah.
understand in
There is a
like
different approach. Do not worry. Okay, we have a test.step approach in uh, Playwright. I will introduce you to that, okay, at a later point. Once you are introduced to that, you would find that BDD is not required.
okay.
Okay, and to be very practical, people always give this argument like, it becomes easy, and business users can write test cases. Okay, from my experience, I can say, can you tell me how many business users actually are opening your feature files, reading those files, and writing test cases? The answer would be, believe me, less than 5% in the complete industry. Okay, that's the reality of Cucumber BDD. But people still do it because it has become like a habit. Like, just create a framework with BDD.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
So what are we replacing the BDD with? I didn't catch that
Uh,
word.
yeah, we would be having test.step approach. I will showcase you that once we have introduced to Playwright, once we have much hands-on knowledge, we understand Playwright, we understand the advanced features of Playwright. We have created a framework using POM. After that, once we create our framework, I will showcase you how you can literally create each test scenarios into test steps. Okay, and by reading that test step, you will be able to understand what scenario is failing, right? Yeah, coming to mobile automation, guys, we with Playwright we cannot do real device mobile automation. Okay, that is not possible. Real devices cannot be tested with Playwright, but emulators can be tested. Okay, emulators can be tested with Playwright. We will be just be tweaking the pixel size in different Playwright device mode, and you can see that in action.
Sir, I have one more question.
Yeah, yeah.
So, sir, as in mobile browser, like
Uh,
similar to the browsers, so can we automate the mobile browsers, same mobile, I mean, like the same website which we are launching from the browser? Can we automate while we are launching it from the mobile device, mobile browser?
yeah, yeah, we can.
We can. So the
Yeah.
concept will be same only, or
Maybe the view changes, so you may have to handle that element differently. So that will be again a conditional statement. If the view is in the mobile view, you may have to action it in this way.
Okay,
but that
okay.
we can
But the rest
change.
of the things like finding the web elements, all those things will be remain same only, right?
Yeah, yeah, all those remain same. There is no APM server. If you are introduced to APM, I know this question might come from there, right? Like for mobile
Oh,
automation, you need to externally learn APM as a server also, right? That is not required for
mhm.
Playwright.
Because Playwright can
Hmm.
support all end-to-end
All
testing from
device,
UI to API to
yes, yes,
database, everything like mobile testing with the
yeah,
same framework
yeah.
we can automate
Basically,
everything, right? So
device,
that's the reason like, this question
uh,
might come.
yeah, yeah. So basically, to answer your question, that we will not be able to still test on a real device. Okay, just understand the difference there. Okay, real device
Yes,
means you can actually connect your mobile, and on your mobile the test automation starts. Okay, that is still not possible, but you can run those in a emulated mode. So basically, once you open your browser, you might have seen this kind of approach where once you inspect on this page, you can change the view of your page, right? Like to a mobile page. Have you seen this kind of
yes.
pages?
Yeah, yeah. We can convert it to the mobile view.
Mobile view. So that can be done with Playwright, okay? But it has inbuilt so many device level configuration that for that view, all your UI testing will be 100% relevant. Okay, don't worry. Only some peculiar things that you may find, like, working in mobile device but not working, some kind of very technical issues only, we will not be able to find out. Okay.
Yes.
Vivek had a very interesting question, like, he is a fresher. He wants to learn automation testing. Is this useful to me as an add-on advantage or not? He's currently learning Java full stack, so that means he has already exposure to Java, SQL, and JavaScript. Okay, so he can become an end-to-end developer. But I would still say that this would be an extra effort for you to learn automation again, right? So again, it's your choice, not discouraging you to not learn it, but I would still say that if you are someone who wants to learn uh, development, please do that. If you combine development and parallelly learn automation, I think it will be too much for you, right? So, but still make that choice, right? Manual testers, I will definitely say this, that you guys have to now change to this role. So, are you familiar with this role, guys? SDET roles. Most of
Yes.
the job,
Software development and
yeah. So
testing.
Yeah,
this is software
yeah.
developer engineering test. So most of the jobs are now for this role only. Okay, so jobs are for, right? You guys already know, you are still part of an organization, so you guys know this. Okay, so this is a need of time. Okay, so they do not want manual tester. They want someone who is flexible enough to jump into an automation role as well, as and when the project has that requirement, right? So this is very much important. Another one advantage of Playwright I haven't discussed yet is like, it's very much easier to actually create a framework within a very short period of time with Playwright, right? Because most of the projects, uh, especially in B2B model, right? Like business to business model, or if you are working any service-based company, right? Service-based company, the projects are very short, right? They want to deploy a feature within 3 months of time, right? And parallelly, they also want to create automation scripts for the same, right? So in this case, the legacy automation behavior using Selenium with BDD approach is a slower approach. Okay, Playwright can is someone who can pitch in and do this activity for you, right? So that's why people are preferring someone who knows Playwright, who can create automation scripts within a short span of time, right? And which are still relevant because Playwright has an additional capability to reduce flaky test. Okay, flaky test is a concept. We'll let you know in coming up lectures. Okay. Uh, yeah, someone has raised a hand, so I can take one more question.
Uh, yeah, it's Hiran.
Yeah,
Um,
hi.
sorry, I missed your name. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Cyril.
Sir.
Cyril, yeah.
Yeah. Is there any certification for this?
Yeah, at the end of the course, you will receive a certification from the institute.
No, yeah,
Mm,
that we will get it. But
mm.
like Playwright itself has any certification like
I'm not sure yet, like a Java certified, something like that, right?
yeah.
I think on their Microsoft website there might be something, but I am not sure.
Oh, okay, fine. Yeah, no issues. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Narsimha.
Yes, sir. So, sir, is there any limitations for using the Playwright? Like, we cannot test these kind of applications. I mean, like, we have a different domains like Salesforce domain,
Uh,
SAP domain, and like, so is there any limitations, or we can automate any of the web projects?
uh, See, until and unless it is a facing web application, like Salesforce application, if you can open in a browser, is it
Mhm.
something that can be opened in a browser?
Yeah, we can open it. Yeah.
Then that can be automated. No worries.
Okay. Fine. Sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Mm.
Means anything if we are able to access from the browser, we can
You
automate it,
can.
right?
Yes, you can.
Thank you. So there is no such limitations or bound.
Only one I have found that you
Boundaries.
cannot have testing in real devices. But for that
Okay.
also you have a have you come across browser stack? You guys
Heard
have come
this.
across? Okay, this is a cloud-based application, cloud-based. Most of the big MNCs have now uh, g- have subscription with browser stack. So browser stack is a cloud-based tool where you can actually test on real devices. So you can connect your automation test scripts with browser stack, and browser stack has a cloud based, like, yeah, it is a cloud environment where they have so many VMs, virtual machines, where it can mimic real devices testing. Okay, so that is also welcomed with browser stack, and people are relying on browser stack because having physical devices with each tester is much costlier than having a cloud-based environment where you can have n number of tools accessible to you.
And sir,
Yeah. Mm.
also one more question, like last question. So, uh, I forgot, sir. Let me remember and get back to you, sir.
Mm. Okay, no worries. I will just show you how easy is it
Yes,
to.
sir. Sir, I wanted to
Mm.
check, like, are we able to do a database testing as well from the Playwright? Is it possible?
We can, but you need to have access to that database. So database will be working
Okay.
on a server, right?
Hmm.
So if I want to show you, I may have to install a database in my machine, connect to that server, and then
Right.
install.
We can do
But
that. Yeah.
yeah, but it's a very simple approach. Once you have done that, it's just hostname connection. You connect to that Databricks, and you can run
Mhm.
query. Like you can run query on Azure Databricks or any database as in such. Okay, you need
Yes.
to have connectivity to that Databricks, and we can connect it in any language
So,
that is possible. Not a big thing.
basically, from Playwright, we will be more like we cannot depend upon the third parties to install and configure
Uh,
the things, right?
it
From
will still be, you will have
one
some
place.
dependency, my friend. Like if you want to deal on MongoDB or MongoDB. I don't know what is that called. MongoDB, right?
MongoDB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So MongoDB will have a client. Okay, that will be a library to connect to this MongoDB. Okay. Similarly, Azure Databricks may have a different client. Okay, but you don't have to learn something new to connect to these servers. But you will still require some kind of client interface because MongoDB is outside your Node.js, right? Not in the same umbrella. So you will have some library still working in the background, and that would be required. Okay, let me quickly show you how powerful Playwright is. So I have just come to Playwright documentation, their official documentation. Currently, Playwright supports these four languages like this Node.js, both JavaScript, TypeScript, Python, Java, and .NET. .NET is a C# language. Okay. Currently, I will be showing you how we can do it in Node.js. Okay. So I will just come here. I will just copy this command npm init playwright at the rate latest, or I can even show you a much simpler approach. Okay. So to do that, let me just open a folder. Okay. Let me come here and let me just create a new project here, say October batch, right? And inside October batch, I will just select this folder for now. Okay. So right now you see the folder is empty. Okay, I will showcase you each and every step how we can get started in tomorrow's lecture. But to give you that enthusiasm to learn Playwright, I will be just. I hope all the previous recordings have been worked. I'm not sure. Okay, let me just share my screen quickly. Okay, we will discuss on how I am able to do it in next class. But just to give you that enthusiasm, I will do it manually very quickly. Okay, so basically I have an extension installed called Playwright Test for VS Code. You see this is installed. Okay, now basically what I can do is I can open my command palette from here, and there is a command called install Playwright. It will ask me to install Playwright with different options. For quickly installation, I will just remove the Firefox WebKit part, and I will disable this part where I'm using JavaScript. Okay, we'll click on OK. Okay, in depth we'll talk about this tomorrow, but I'll just show you how quickly you can get started with Playwright. Okay, so it is doing all those installations for me. I will wait for those installations. Current version of Playwright is 1.56.1, so that is getting installed. It is installing a Chromium library for me so that I can run my test scripts in Chromium browser. Okay, so I think it is downloading that in background. If I go to the test section, we'll talk about this tomorrow. Okay, I will tell you, but to showcase you how quickly we are ready with the test script, I just wanted to highlight this. Okay, so there is a test script already available for me inside the test folder. I'll just run the script now. It might fail because Chromium is still installing, but let's see. Okay, it got failed because that was expected because we are yet to install different libraries. Okay, so okay, because this is still getting installed, that's the reason it got failed. I think I still have to wait.
Can you take a question?
Yeah, but not related to how this installation was completed, because we will have
No,
in-depth
no, no.
class on how we can
In
configure. Okay, don't worry.
in general question. So,
Yeah,
will you be providing us like a live project or something uh, which mimics the real time
yeah,
projects?
live assignments I would be giving you.
Assignments, yes, but
Mm. We will
mimics the
take,
real time project.
yeah. So we have uh, open-based application which are available to us. There are
Okay.
many websites where we can complete all those activity. Like there is one called softwaretesting.com, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is an open source application. There are some applications available with me. I will be showcasing you those applications. Okay, so that will
So
be
the
more or less.
assignments will come from that application.
Yes,
Or,
yes, yes. Yeah.
okay, got it.
So with that
And
application, you are required to log in like a real based application. You will be an authenticated user. All those are part of those application.
and
Yeah,
so
and this is that
consider
application.
done with we are done with this session and everything, like
Mm.
learning Playwright. So what is the after support you'll be providing?
You can get in touch with the institute if you still have any queries or any issues with the lectures, because the video recording will be accessible to you, is what I believe, even after
Mhm.
you have completed the courses, right? And my intention is like you would be coding along with me as an instructor, right? So we will be targeting each module, and will be taking into consideration how much you are able to digest from the course, right? Only then it will make sense. So that's why the timelines are also mentioned. Like there is a 40 hours of learning, So 1 hour of lecture and maybe 1 hour of your own practice is enough for you to get along.
So no, no,
That is
what
the
I'm talking is
expectation.
like, you have we are completing the course, and
Hmm.
now we may get a job like after like 2 years on the Playwright.
After
So
2 years on Playwright,
no,
okay, that's a
sorry,
very
two
long
months.
time.
Two
Okay,
months.
okay.
Let me say like 2 months.
Uh,
So if you get to some real time issues or something, how do we approach with the institute?
you can still get in touch with the institute itself because my timelines will be a bit different, right? But the idea is like you are well equipped on your own, right? That's why the syllabus itself says that you are someone who can create automation frameworks on your own. So highlight is like you are someone who is self-independent, who can get stuff
Okay.
done on your own.
Yeah, I
Okay.
understand, but still you'll have some questions or something to
That
handle or
you can
something,
still
right?
get in touch with the institute, and the videos will be always available to you. So you can go
Okay.
back to that concept and try to understand that like suppose your example, like a way example, you want to do something related to API automatic or automation, but you do not
Right.
remember the concept. You can go back to lecture 10, see that video, and
Right.
parallelly try to do that, because that will be a video where instructor myself will be configuring it in the IDE, right?
Okay.
Okay. So agenda is like you become self reliant, and you are someone who drives automation at your place, right? You are that confident. Okay.
The only thing is like my expectation would be like, support, giving support
Mm.
um, in the real time environment.
Yeah, that you can still
Even
get
if
in
you
touch.
put like
Mm.
if your institute has like a support team or something, we can
Mm.
just
Yeah,
message
yeah.
them
You
and
can
they
check
can
with
still
them
give us
still.
a solution.
Yeah, you can still get in check with. You you can still get in touch with the institute itself. They will help you out with queries which are out of the course topics, right? Because this does not cover the sessions that we have planned, right? So any questions outside this, you can still get in touch with the institute.
Okay.
Yes,
So
any
do
question?
they have something like a support team to work through with?
You can check with them. I'm not sure they have a dedicated support team to, help you on your query to query questions, right?
Got
Like,
it. Okay.
but you can still check with them. If they have something, they would still help you out.
Okay.
Someone has raised their hand. Yeah, I can go ahead.
Yeah, sir, just wanted to check,
Mm.
can we automate the captchas or the dynamic OTPs, like
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
sometimes like
I
these
will give
concepts
you.
can,
Okay, 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 okay.
like
So just
sometimes now
uh,
security reasons, like we receive the OTP while doing logging, so every
mm,
time OTP gets changes, so how can we reuse the created test
okay.
scripts again? Like,
To be very frank, if you are able to automate CAPTCHA, that means the application who has developed this CAPTCHA is not a good application. Am I correct?
right?
Right? Because that
Yes.
means you cannot invalidate saying that, bot is accessing your server, because you have literally created a bot that would capture a CAPTCHA. So ideally, even
Okay.
your organization should not allow you or give this requirement to automate CAPTCHA. Okay. Okay, because if you are able to automate CAPTCHA, then that means this is a bad CAPTCHA, correct? But there are still
Correct.
some other tools which can do this, but not really relevant. OTP also same thing. OTP is something, real time you will get a one time
Yeah, yeah.
push
Mainly
notification
I
in your
will
mobile.
receive.
We cannot do that. That's why these are the things with which we can catch robots, correct? And you want to make a robot that does this, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Right, right. Because
Okay.
sometimes in login screen we
Yeah, I
see like we
understand
need
that, but
to create like,
don't do it. Do not automate
so generally, sir, for those kind of activity, we do it performed by manual
manually.
only, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, okay. So thank you.
Please tell your organization also, like, if you have such a requirement, then
Mhm.
means that the application itself is not trustworthy. if it can be automated with capturing
Yes.
capture. Yeah.
Why?
Yes, yes.
Because sir, I heard that ki interviewer asked these questions like, no, can you
Mm-hmm.
automate capture, OTP, all those things. So to
Okay,
answer
okay.
them, like, so yeah, I got some insight. Thank you, sir.
Okay, okay. No worries. Yeah.
Hi, Cyril. I have a question.
Yeah, yeah.
How much experience can you project in a resume with
What,
this
what?
much of course content? How much experience we can project in resume with this much of course content?
How much experience you can add in your resume once you complete this
Yes,
course?
yes,
You
yes.
can still mention that you are someone who is an architect who can create automation frameworks on your own, right, based on necessity, and that can cover both API as well as UI automation, right? So you can still say beginner to somewhere mid-level, okay? And you can add real-time projects which can actually utilize these things.
So approximately 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, yeah, you can.
Okay. So will there be any resume building class?
No, no, no. For building of resume, we don't have. But
So
for
do you
interview,
provide any
mock interview session,
guidance?
we have.
So if we require any guidance, will you be available for that?
For resume building, if you still require any guidance, you can still check with the institute. If they have any other capability or someone who can help you out, we can still check.
Okay.
I have a question regarding the classes. So, will this be like from what time to what time, and is it going to be
Yeah,
like every day,
yeah, every day, no, Monday to Friday, 8 to 9 p.m. India time.
8 to 9 p.m.? Okay, fine.
Yeah, that is India time. So if you're joining from some other time zone, please make sure I'm referring to IST time zone.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Monday to Friday, weekends would be off.
Do you also have any weekend batches as well?
Not that this batch is on weekdays only. We might have a weekend batch, but for that you might have to check with the institute if they have a dedicated weekend batch only, something like that.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Yeah, course content is already there on the website. Okay, you can take it from there. Okay, the syllabus that I'm sharing, right? It's already there on the website. So please take it from there. Okay.
So is it the same syllabus which you are showing us? Is it the same
Yeah, yeah,
one which is on
same,
the
same.
website
Yeah,
in the
yes.
same organized pattern?
I believe so. Let me cross check. If there is any discrepancy, I
Yes,
will just share
please.
you the
Yeah.
curriculum pattern. Okay. So just ran a course test script over here while we were talking, and you can see one testing is passed. Okay, but we'll discuss about this tomorrow. Just wanted to highlight you like why Playwright is so popular, and this is the reason being. I think within 10 minutes or so, I have a ready to deploy test script with me. Okay, with an example. Okay. Okay, I think with that we are done with the demo session for today.
Uh,
We
the,
can,
the last
yeah,
question, sir, how long this course is going to be? I mean,
yeah, yeah.
around what time we're going to finish this?
Yeah, so this is planned for 37 hours of learning, and each
Okay.
day will be covering 1 hour. So you can say 37 days that only
Days.
include Monday to Friday. Okay, so I think still 2.5 months, I guess.
So by end of December, we can say, right?
Yeah, 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 you can say that. Because 1 month will be what, 20 hours, 4 weeks, right? So 2 months maximum, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll be able to cover it up. It all depends on the class also. Like if you guys are able to digest more, I will be giving you with much more information.
I just need to cover the last bits, the advanced bits. I'm okay.
Hmm. Now let's see how the whole class
Yeah.
is able to tell it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. I think all the questions has been addressed. Can we wind up for today?
Yeah, thank you.
Sir, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Tomorrow at the
Thank
same
you.
time.
Same time, 8 to 9.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much.
Thank you.